Akandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Charancharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnati Nirandasya Yana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Stavaram Jangamam Vyaktam Yat Kinchit Satcharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ramaji Vyapi Yat Sarvam Trilokyam Satcharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sarvashruti Shiroratnam Virajita Padam Bhujam Vedantam Bhuja Suryoya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Shashvata Shanto Vyomatito Niranjanam Bindunada Kalatita Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnana Shakti Samarudha Tattvamana Vibhushita Bhakti Mukti Pradata Cha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Aneka Janma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidahine Atmanyana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Soshanam Bhava Sindhuscha Jnapanam Sarasampalam Guru Padodakam Sanya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Na Guru Radhikam Tattvam Na Guru Radhikam Tapam Tattvajnanam Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Manata Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Radhira Nadishta Guru Paramadevatam Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarva Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarva Mama Deva Deva. Recently, Indian devotee of Gurudev wrote the Paramahamsa Vishwananda Ashtakam with the 8 verses to Guruji. So that's what we're going to sing. Satchitanandam Sarvavyapakam Paramanandam Parameshwaram Paramatmanam Satgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwananda Satchitanandam Sarvavyapakam Paramanandam Parameshwaram Paramatmanam Satgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwananda Kamalanayakam Padapankajam Manamohakam Sitaranjanam Sundeshwaram Satgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwananda Kama Varanam Madapankajam Manamohakam Chitaranjanam Someshwaram Sadgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwananda Sadgurudevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Sadgurudevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Sadgurudevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Namadevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Jnaneshwaram Yogeshwaram Sarveshwaram Vishveshwaram Vimeshwaram Sadgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Jnaneshwaram Yogeshwaram Sarveshwaram Vishveshwaram Vimeshwaram Sadgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Ashtagandham Jivanandam Madhurswaram Leeladharam Niranjanam Sadgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Ashtagandham Jivanandam Madhurswaram Leeladharam Niranjanam Sadgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Sadgurudevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Sankatmochanam Dukhabhanjanam Karuna Kripa Avataram Bhaktavatsala Sadgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Vishwamurti Vinayamurti Divya Vigraha Mantradayakam Mantirstapakam Sadgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Sadgurudevam 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 Swami Vishwanandam Sadgurudeva Swami Vishwanandam Jagadisham Purushottam Parabrahman Janarjanam Paramahamsam Satgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Satgurudevam Vishwakadatam Sarvapalakam Sarvalohitam Premavatam Satgurudevam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Satgurudevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Sadgurudevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Sadgurudevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam Satgurudevam Swami Vishwanandam Namastubhyam Swami Vishwanandam. Om Avatar Shishaya Namaha, Om Vishamaya Namaha, Om Devakara Samujataya Namaha, Om Sukshmatanave Namaha, Om Chinmayaya Namaha, Om Guru Murtaye Namaha, Om Sundaraya Namaha, Om Sulochanaya Namaha, Om Sumukaya Namaha, Om Charuhasaya Namaha, Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Padmabhujaya Namaha, Om Mandagamanaya Namaha, Om Charumbaradharine Namaha, Om Mandevaya Namaha, Om Mandirastapakaya Namaha, Om Shridiva Varshakaya Namaha, Om Gayatri Ashwane Namaha, Om Arpanasvikarakaya Namaha, Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namaha, Om Namo Narayana Iti Mantra Pasakaya Namaha, Om Paramayaya Namaha, Om Adhurakantaya Namaha, Om Krishna Sankirtana Rupaya Namaha, Om Stotra Priyaya Namaha, Om Mitavashine Namaha, Om Padmine Namaha, Om Chitrakala Visharadaya Namaha, Om Pratadharaya Namaha, Om Sadave Namaha, Om Jagatpataya Namaha, Om Sarvalokaya Namaha, Om Bhakta Priyaya Namaha, Om Surdaya Namaha, Om Anuguraya Namaha, Om Neyaya Namaha, Om Sudarshanaya Namaha, Om Bhakta Vatsalaya Namaha, Om Primamurtaye Namaha, Om Shubhekshanaya Namaha, Om Prithivardhanaya Namaha, Om Swastidayakaya Namaha, Om Tarakaya Namaha, Om Anugrahaya Namaha, Om Vardhanaya Namaha, Om Architaya Namaha, Om Artaya Namaha, Om Siddhipradaya Namaha, Om Janardhanaya Namaha, Om Manoharaya Namaha, Om Mahakshaya Namaha, Om Siddheshwaraya Namaha, Om Bhasmabhushitaya Namaha, Om Atmalingaya Namaha, Om Lingarchana Pratsakaya Namaha, Om Siddhi Sadanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Omkarupasakaya Namaha, Om Sukshmaya Namaha, Om Vishokaya Namaha, Om Satrikaya Namaha, Om Samadarshine Namaha, Om Dakshaya Namaha, Om Achintyaya Namaha, Om Niramkaraya Namaha, Om Nirmohaya Namaha, Om Avyagraya Namaha, Om Chitakrodaya Namaha, Om Vinayashilaya Namaha, Om Savashaya Namaha, Om Kushalaya Namaha, Om Kshamaya Namaha, Om Satyadharmaya Namaha, Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha, Om Viraktaya Namaha, Om Atindraya Namaha, Om Satyasandaya Namaha, Om Pavitraya Namaha, Om Adurasvabhavaya Namaha, Om Sudanandaya Namaha, Om Nandanaya Namaha, Om Prasanatmane Namaha, Om Bhaktavitaye Namaha, Om Sakshaye Namaha, Om Samatmaye Namaha, Om Sadayogine Namaha, Om Haraye Namaha, Om Sutapaya Namaha, Om Saumyaya Namaha, Om Gujaya Namaha, Om Vimuktatmaya Namaha, Om Gabhiraya Namaha, Om Guptaya Namaha, Om Atmaramaya Namaha, Om Srinivasaya Namaha, Om Devaya Namaha, Om Dyutidaraya Namaha, Om Dhanyaya Namaha, Om Gurave Namaha, Om Duravikramaya Namaha, Om Gahanaya Namaha, Om Bhagavate Namaha, Om Harisharana Margadashakaya Namaha, Om Kutashta Jagartakaya Namaha, Om Abhiprayaya Namaha, Om Sarvamata Samadhyaya Namaha, Om Kshamikata Bhavavartakaya Namaha, Om Premavatara Sri Vishwananda Swami Namaha. Ato Deva Avantuno Virtu Vishnu Vichakrame Vidhya Sapta Dhammapihi Vedam Vishnu Vichakrame Vedanyade Padam Samodamasya Padam Sure Vedi Padam Vichakrame Vishnu Gopadabraham Ato Dharmani Narayane Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Yato Vrtani Pashvase
Nilasya Yudyasaka Tat Vishnu Paramam Padagum Sada Pashyanti Surya Divi Vachakshudatatam Tat Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruhagum Sasamindate Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samabhava Nirvighnam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Bhurvubhasvaha Tatsavitur Varena Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurvubhasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurvubhasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Ketavare Narayana Achyuta Trivikrama Chakrapane Tetati Sarshadara Sridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rukmini Sabhavanasa Hare Murare Radhesha Gopesha Surupa Brahmari Mandira Shridharatam Shaya Vaikuntha Pate Bhuvane Kamurte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Nina Krute Kamata Rupa Varaha Murte Devi Kramaya Guhane Prabhura Marama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Karti Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Govinda Madhava Mukunda Parat Paresha Damodara Jadara Nanda Karari Shori Gogopa Gopi Jana Samvrata Dina Bando Gopi Jana Priya Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Sai Bhujagani Patalpa Sai Sadbhaktarit Sadana Shai Ramanga Shai Shri Gopa Bhamma Mridutalpa Sukari Shai Gogopa Vallabha Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Kashyapatri Sukha Narada Gautamadi Brahmarshi Sangamani Sangama Bhavate Shubhu Nishkanti Devata Vadarshana Galya Eto Gopala Sekara Hare Tava Suprabhatam Vedadaya Putrasita Namani Kanjare Malya Hiyanjani Buddhista Mudanaranti Tishtanti Vatpavata Dana Tale Munindraha Radha Manohara Hare Tava Suprabhatam Vedatrayam Patati Nuttamagana Guyaha Gayanti Satguna Gano Varada Savarga
Sankirtayanti tava nama kada visesha Srinaragadilashaya Tava suprabhata Govardhanodara Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Janamruta Suvisha Baba Vibhuta Trilokya Mohana Sumangala Divya Deha Shri Rukmini Savarada Tava suprabhata Shri Vatsachinna Sharanagata Parijata Bhakti Manjana Kripankara Dina Bando Nidanta Gayati Janapriya Divya Rupa Shri Nanda Gopatanaya Tava suprabhata Almaksha Padma Mukha Padma Dara Prameya Padma Laya Shrita Padma Nivasa Shori Padmo Bhavati Sura Sevita Pada Padma Padma Nilanta Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Nilanta Devi Haranaya Mahindra Vandya Kandarpadarpa Haratinya Sudesha Rupa Chandrananaya Siddha Chandana Lipna Deha Govindaya Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Nandanandana Yashoda Kumara Dira Mayangadina Davichola Supushpahara Nilam Buddha Susharira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Vasnijam Bhavati Satya Sugandhi Patra Shri Mitra Dinda Divasa Prabhu Puri Kanjaye Nishtanti Divya Mama Vinda Vashavanada Gopi Manati Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Achyuta Ananta Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janardana Chakrapane Namani Divya Munayurna Nisham Vadanti Brahmi Muhurta Samaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Suprabhatam Ye Patate Maharnisam Purikrutam Mahapapam Shri Krishna Graha Hetunam Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Everybody please. Anadira Govinda Sarva Karana Karana Govinda Mani Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mani Purusham Tamam Bhajami Chintamani Prakara Sattva Sukalpa Vriksha Laksha Briteshu Surabhiya Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahastra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham. Now everybody Vedum Varantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Varavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Sobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandrakala Sattvangamalya Vamshi Ratna Gadav Pranaya Keli Kala Vilasam Shyamantri Bandalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakadendriya Vritti Bhashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhudvara Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitamachyutamanadi Manantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Dulabhan Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Bhaktastu Koti Sadavatsara Sampragamyo Vajodatapi Manaso Munitungavanam Sopyasti Yatrapadasinya Vichintya Tatre Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Kopyasurachayitum jagat andakurtim Yak chakti asti jagat andachaya yat antaha Andantarasta paramana chayantarastam Govindamadi purushantamaham bhajami Govindamadi purushantamaham bhajami
Yad bhava bhavita diyo manujastateva Samprapya rupa mahimasanayana bhushaha Sute yameva nigama pratitestu manti Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitabhis Tabiya eva nijadupataya kalabhihi Koloka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Premanjana churita bhakti vilojanena Santa sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti Yashama sundara machintya gunasvarupam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Ramadi murti shukalani amena tishtam Nanavataramakarodbhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samabhavat paramapumanyo Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti Koti svashesha vasudhadi vibhuti bhinam Tabrahma nishkaram anantam ashesha bhutam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Maya hiyasya jagadanda shatani sutte Trigunya tatvishaya veda vitayamana Sattva valambi parasattva vishuddha sattvam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Ananda chinmaya rasatmataya manasu Yadraninam pratipalam smaratam yupetyam Leela yitena bhuvanani chayachajasam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Golokanam nijadam nitale chatasya Devi mahishahadidama suteshu teshu Tete prabhavani chaya vihidaschayena Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Shristi Shristi Pranaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Jaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Vipakti Durga Ichadurupana Piyasya Cheshtate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Kshiram yatada vivikara vishesha yogat Sanjayate nahi tata pratagasti hetuhu Yashambhutam api tata samupeti karyat Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Dipakshireva Hidashantaramabhyupetya Dipayate Gavitahetu Samana Dharman Yastadgureva Hidavishtukaya Vibhatri Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Yakaranarnava jale bhajati sma yoga Nedram vananta jagadanda saroma kupaha Adhara shaktima valambya param svamurtim Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Yasya Jaristasya Kalamatha Balambya Jivanti Logo Nilaja Jagadantanataha Yeshdur Mahasariha Yasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Pashvanyatashma shakaleshu nijeshu tejaha Sveyam kiyat pragatayata pitatva atram Brahmaya esha jagadanda vidhana karata Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami
Yadpada Palava Yugam Vinidhaya Kumbha Vande Pranama Samaye Saganadhirajaha Vignam Vihantu Malamasya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamani Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Agni Mahi Gagana Amba Maruti Shashcha Kalastatama Manasitti Jagatrayani Yasmat Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yamcha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Yashchakshudesha Samita Sakala Gahana Raja Samasta Suramurti Asesha Tejaha Yasya Jnayatmati Samkritakala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Dharmo Tapapani Chayashutayastapamsi Brahmadikitapatagavadayascha Jivaha Yadda Tamatra Vibhava Prakata Prabhava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Yastindra Gopamatavindra Mahosvakarma Bardhanurupa Phalabhajanamatanoti Karma Nidindahati Kintu Chabhakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Yakroda Kama Sahaja Pranayadi Bhiti Vatsalya Moha Guru Gaura Vasevya Bhavahe Sanchintya Tasya Sadrushintanama Purete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadiyadi Govinda Sarvakana Karanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Hiranyavarnamarim Suvarnarajatasrayam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jatavedo Vahavaha Tamavaha Jatavedo Lakshmim Anapagaminim Yasyam Hiranyam Vindeyam Kamashvam Purushanaham Ashvapurvamritamadhyamasti Prabodhinim Shriyam Devim Apakvaye Shirmadevi Rishatam Tam Sosmitam Hiranya Prakaram Artam Gyanantim Krishtam Tarpayantim Padme Stitam Padmavarnam Tamiho Pakvaye Shriyam Chandram Prabhasam Yashasa Jalantir Shriyam Loke Devarushtamudaram Tam Padminimim Sharanamaham Prapadye Alakshmir Menashyatam Tvam Vrune Adityavarne Tapaso Vijato Vanaspatistava Vrikshota Bilvaha Tasya Padani Tapasanudantu Mayantarayascha Vaya Alakshmi Upendu Mam Deva Saka Kirtischamanina Saha Pradurbuto Svirashvesmin Kirtangridyam Datatu Me Kshakti Pasamalam Jeshtam Lakshmim Nashayamyaham Abhutim Asamrityam Cha Sarva Nirnunamigrihat Tam Dattvaram Durardashan Nitya Pushtam Karishini Ishvarikam Sarva Bhutanam Tamiho Pakvaye Shriyam Manasakama Makutim Vacha Satyavashimahi Pashunam Rupamannasya Mahishi Shayatam Yashaha Kartamena Praja Bhuta Maisam Bhavatardama Shayam Vasayame Kule Mataram Padmamalinim Apasrajanto Snindhani Chiklintavasame Grihe निज देवी मातरं श्रियं वासय मे कुले अर्द्रां पुष्करिणीं पुष्टिं सुवर्णां हेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः अर्द्रां यक्करिणीं यष्टिं पिङ्गलां पद्ममालिनीं चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः तां महावः जातवेदो लक्ष्मीमनपगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं प्रभूतं गावो दास्योऽश्वान् विन्देयं पुरुषानहम् यश्चित् प्रयतो भूत्वा जुहुयादजमन्वहम् सूक्तं पञ्चदशं च श्रीकामः सततं जपेत् पद्मप्रिये पद्मिनि पद्महस्ते पद्मालये पद्मदलायताक्षी विश्वप्रिये विष्णुमनोनुकूले त्वत्पादपद्मं मयि संनिधस्त्वा महादेवे च विद्महे विष्णुपत्न्यै च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः भूमिर्भुम्नाभ्यो वलिनन्तरिक्षं महित्वा उपस्थिते देवतिथिग्निमन्नादमन्नाध्यायादरे आयङ्गो वृष्टिरक्रमीरसनं मातरं पुनः पितरं च प्रयंसुवः त्रिगुंशक्तामविराजति वाक्पतङ्गाय शिष्यये प्रत्यस्य वहत्युभिः अस्य प्राणादपानन्यन्तश्चरतिरोचना व्यग्यन्महिषस्सुवः यद्वा कृतः परोपमन्युनायदवच्य सुकल्पमग्ने तत्तव पुनः स्तोतीपयामसि यक्ते मन्युपरोक्तस्य पृथिवीमनुनद्वसे आदित्या विश्वे तद्देवा वसवस्य समावरन् मनो ज्योतिर्जुषतामच्छं विच्छिन्नं यज्ञगुं समिमं ददातु बृहस्पतिस्तनुतामिमं नो विश्वे देवायमानयन्ताम् मेदिनी देवी वसुन्धरा स्याद्वसुधा देवी वासवी ब्रह्मवच्चसः पितॄणागुं श्रोत्रं चक्षुर्मनः देवी हिरण्यगर्भिणी देवी प्रसूवनी सदने सद्यायने सीता समुद्रवती सावित्री हनो देवी मयङ्गी महोदर्णी महोप्रतिष्ठा शृङ्गे शृङ्गे यज्ञे यज्ञे विभीषणी इन्द्रपत्नी व्यापिनी सुरसरिः वायुमती जलशयनी श्रियं दाराजा सख्यन्दो परिमेदिनी सोपरिरडम्बरिगाय विष्णुपत्नी महीं देवी माधवी माधवप्रिया लक्ष्मीं प्रियसखीं देवीं नमामच्युतवल्लभां धनुधरायै विद्महे सर्वसिद्ध्यै च धीमहि तन्नो धरा प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः लीलां देवीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये गृह्णाहि घृतवती सवितरापि पक्यै पयस्वतीरन्तिराशानो अस्तु त्रिवानुषां विष्णुपत्न्यगोदाशेषाना सहसोयामनोता बृहस्पतिर्मातरिष्वोतवायुः सन्दुवानावादाभिनो गृह्णन्तो विष्टम्भो दिवो धर्नः पृथिव्या अस्येषा न जगतो विष्णुपत्नी महादेव्यै च विद्महे विष्णुपत्न्यै च धीमहि तन्नो लीला प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Wow, so loud. Jai Gurudev, good morning everybody. So, continuing from our journey along the physical description of Shrimanarayana, last week I spoke about the last weapon, which was the shield, and also the Vanamala, the garland that the Lord is wearing. And so today I wanted to speak about what he's actually wearing, which is the Pitambara. As you know, he's wearing the yellow clothes, and there's many yellow personalities in this place. So maybe I am the most inappropriate person to speak about yellowness, because I have never had the grace to wear yellow. At my time, it was white. And I was hoping that it would become yellow actually at the time. Because in different traditions, different monks or brahmacharis, they wear different colors. In the beginning, Guruji chose white. And obviously, as we might know, it changed to yellow. So I want to speak about the Pitambara and the meaning of yellow garment, or the color of yellow. So the verse that I chose is actually from the same section from last week, which is Canto 12, Chapter 11, in which the Supreme Lord is described in every single detail of the way that he appears, in every detail, in every aspect, in every ornament that he wears. And so this verses 11 and 12. Swamayam vanamalakyam nanagunamayam dadata vashas chandromayam pitam brahmasutram trivridam swaram bhibarti sankyam yogam cha devo makara kundale maulim padam paramishtyamam savaloka bhayankaram. His flower garland is his material energy, comprising various combinations of the modes of nature. His yellow garment is the Vedic meters, and his sacred thread, the syllable Om, composed of 3 sounds. In the form of his 2 shark-shaped earrings, the Lord carries the process of Sankhya and Yoga, and his crown, bestowing fearlessness on the inhabitants of all the worlds, is the supreme position of Brahmalok. So again, there is various aspects of him. One that I've not spoken about yet, which will still come, which is the crown and the kundalas, the earrings. But to focus on the yellow garment, we always know that the Lord is dressed in yellow. His favorite color is yellow to wear. And so the Pitambara, also in this verse it says Vashachandra Mayam Pitam, right? The yellow robe represents the meters of the Vedas. And so firstly, the yellow can be seen in different contexts and different symbolizations depending on that context, right? So the yellow often is connected to the element of fire, and it stands for sacrifice. And as we know, the description of the way that everything was manifested started with a sacrifice itself. The Lord himself offered himself as a sacrifice for creation to happen. As we're chanting the Purusha Suktam, for example, tomorrow, in which the whole process is described. And so from this we understand, as creation itself started from sacrifice, we also see that everything that is offered as sacrifice goes towards the Lord. That he takes and absorbs everything, which is a combination in a sense of the color that he wears and the skin color that he has, which is a topic for afterwards. Because of course the blackish color or dark bluish color that he usually is depicted as is also that which is all absorbing. And so the yellow is also symbolized for that on one hand, the sacrifice that is given, and at the same time, that the one that takes all sacrifices, that is the receiver of all of them. And so then he is known as the Yagna Purusha, the one who is the receiver of all oblations. And with that original sacrifice also, he shows that everything in this world functions through that. And so the way that we will be able to free ourselves from it is in the same way also. He says that the only type of action in this material world which is not binding is that of service, that of sacrifice. And so as we also understand that we cannot run away from action, that we have to act, he prescribes that he makes it very simple, that there is only one type of action that we should or can actually practice that will not create bondage as a result of it. And so that which is also the type of action which will free us from this creation that we have attached to ourselves to. And so the sacrifice is the most important type of action to practice and to understand. And so that is what he's always reminding by wearing that yellow clothes. Whenever we look at him, it is a reminder of service, of the importance of service in daily life. The yellow clothes also is connected to the color of earth, because everything that comes to contact with earth starts to have a yellowish shine often, right? Whether it's rust or whatever it may be, it starts to have a yellowish color. And so it is also reminding that on that path, to be able to do service, to do sacrifice, to be grounded is very important on the spiritual path also. To be grounded is a necessity, and I think that's something we know very well, and something that we are, I would say, quite lucky with, because we have a living spiritual master. And one of the most beautiful and safe things about having a spiritual master is that he will make sure that you stay grounded. Because when you only have quote-unquote scripture, or when you only have hearsay, or when you only have sangha also, it can be more easy to start flying. Because the truth is that the Sadguru has no problem to bring you back down, because that is his only objective. Everybody else has their own objective. Everybody else has their own concerns in terms of, if I say the truth, is that going to reflect on my relationship with that person? So there's always a certain level of fear. But the Guru has no fear. He doesn't care whether we hate him or we love him. His mission is very clear. And so he goes about that mission in a very direct way. And so it definitely, as we know very well, the Guru is not afraid to bring up certain shortcomings or habits which are not grounded. And so that's why grounding, as we can see with Guruji, is very important. So this is the first two qualities. It is the importance of service and to be grounded on the spiritual path. Secondly, to go a little bit more into the verse that he speaks about here, obviously the 3 points that he makes is the yellow in terms of color, and what it represents, as he says, is the Vedic meters. And so the Vedic meters, I would separate them into two. Firstly, the Vedic, and secondly, the meters. So the Vedic, for me, represents knowledge. So the yellow color is very much connected to knowledge in various aspects of it. That's why it is also the color of Saraswati Devi It is the color which is used mostly for the festival of Vasant Panchami to bring in spring. Spring also is with that color of yellow to bring renewal, freshness, beautiful things. And it is what is also the quality of Saraswati. Saraswati is the Devi of knowledge, of arts, of creativity, of everything that springs forth that is beautiful, whether it is in terms of painting or music or knowledge. It is, beautiful. It is splendid. It is glorious. Yellow is very close to the color of gold, in a sense. And so it is very shining, very radiant. When we see a candle, it is also appears yellow, which is also seen as the dispeller of darkness. And so yellow, in that sense, as he says, the Vedic, it brings knowledge and it removes ignorance. And so that is the second part, what he says, is the Vedic rhymes. So of course the Vedas, that could be written in a very, how to put it, a normal way, in terms of a very simple text, a nice essay. It could be, or it would need to be very specific, very polite in the way that it is expressed, very correct. I'm thinking of a nice GDPR text from the German Vedic laws. Right? The German laws are not written in a rhyme, usually, right? As far as I know, at least. I haven't studied law, but I think they're not written in a rhyme way. But the Vedic are written with rhymes. And so that has various meanings. What is the effect when texts are written in rhymes? And of course, they become much more beautiful, more eloquent, more easy, and more nice to read. But what happens to the text when it is in rhymes is that it becomes more colored, with more flavor, and it puts a certain mood and a certain vibration and a certain emotion or feeling to the text. The text can be very nice, but when it is put into a rhyme, it carries a certain feeling and emotion. And it's the same thing with the Vedic meters representing that yellow garment, is that it represents the service that we do, but it has to be done in a very specific way. And the service has to be done in a mood of emotion, of feeling, of bhakti. It cannot just be dry and plain. It has to be charged with emotion, with love. And that is the most important thing, because otherwise it's service. But we don't aim to practice service, we aim to practice devotional service. And that devotional service has to be that transformation towards that Supreme Lord is through knowledge. How we practice that devotional service, how we implement it in our daily life. And so we can see that just by him wearing the yellow color representing the Vedic rhymes, we can see how everything is packed into those 3 points. That renunciation, that service, that mood in which we do serve, and the way that how we learn how to serve, how to attain that which is garment in, which is the Supreme Lord. Also, another point that I forgot, an important point actually, that the meters, the rhymes in which the Vedas are composed in, it also helps to memorize. But when you try to memorize a normal text, it is very difficult. But when a text is put into rhymes and meters, it gets a certain structure, and it becomes much easier to memorize. And as we know, in the ancient times, all of these texts, they were not even written down. They were given on by the teacher and memorized by the student, and again given on in an unbroken chain. And so for them to be in certain meters and rhymes was vital for the memorization of the texts. as each text has a different meter, and so it becomes practical in that sense to remember in which meter it is put, and in that way to memorize it more easily. And of course, now it is hard to imagine how one could memorize the entire Vedas. It's crazy. We can't even memorize this little Bhagavad Gita, which is only 700 verses, isn't that much. But at that time, they memorized everything. And so the way that it is put, it helps memorization. And that is why also it is so beneficial, actually, to try to memorize the verses from the scriptures, and obviously the Bhagavad Gita to begin with, because it helps the brain itself to regain a little bit of that ability to actually memorize things. So just to learn, and that I noticed a lot actually by trying to learn Gita verses by heart, it actually has that effect very quickly. It's amazing. Even now when what I started to do is to write Gita verses on these little like study cards, like back in school days, to actually write it on with a pen and a paper, which is crazy, and to write it on the cards and to have the cards always in the pocket. And so I noticed that it becomes actually, at least for me, it was very easy. Sometimes I memorize one verse just by preparing the clothes for the deities, because I don't necessarily need my brain so much to prepare the deity clothes and jewelry. And so all the time I'll just have the paper lying there and just remember one line at a time. And now I kind of, unfortunately, for maybe 3 months or whatever, I kind of broke that habit a little bit, and I didn't memorize or repeat them. And so when I was sitting on the bus in India, I was thinking, oh my God, because I actually took some of my cards to write some new ones on the trip, because I thought there would be a bit more time to study. And so when I was sitting on the bus, I was like, oh man, it's terrible. I kind of broke this habit. It was super nice to learn. And I was thinking, because I was at about 25 verses by heart, Sanskrit and English, and I was thinking, which ones would I still remember after 3 months? And I was trying to go through my list in my head, and what I realized actually is that it was much easier for me to memorize the verse in Sanskrit than in English. Because, of course, each one, the Sanskrit language has a very different vibration and potency than English, even if we might understand it more, because it's the language that we speak. But in the way that our brain could capture it, and even our heart would memorize the vibration, it is very different. And so I think actually it is very important to memorize verses, to try to memorize verses, because it helps a lot in that context also. And so as a last point, actually a result of all of those three things that I mentioned, the color yellow is predominantly also connected to one emotion, let's call it, and that is joy, happiness, which I Googled about different gemstones and whatever else many years ago when Guruji gave me the ring, and he gave me the color yellow. And first I thought, well, it's nice because I always loved yellow. As I said, when we were brahmacharis, I always actually wanted to wear yellow. That's why I always liked when there was Navaratri coming around the door and we had possibility to wear the different colors, and I could wear yellow on the day 5. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's just because I like yellow and whatever. But, Krishna's favorite color is yellow and everything, so it's a nice color. But obviously, there's always a reason why Guruji gives certain rings with colors and whatever else, right? And so I was Googling about it, and I thought, maybe there's something behind it. And so the yellow gemstone brings joy and happiness to life. And so for me, that is some of the final puzzle piece also that comes after those three, or this the underlying mood in which you should practice that service or that devotional service in terms of the knowledge that we gain and implement in our life, and that is with joy. And Guruji spoke about it recently also, and he said something very clear and direct. He said, if one does one sadhana without joy, it is useless. Right? And he said that if a devotee doesn't feel joy and happiness when doing in life, then there is something wrong with your sadhana. Because that is what makes a devotee happy and joyful. And so it is, if that is not present in one's sadhana, it is where one should start before anything else in life. Because if you manage to be happy in your spiritual practice, that will reflect and transform everything else in your daily life and every action that we do. And it doesn't mean that we have to fly around and smile from one ear to the other every single moment of every day. And when we do our kriya, it's not a forced joy. It is something that is slumbering inside of our heart. And that's why Guruji speaks so much about the golden moment, to memorize and to bring back certain emotion that was felt, certain memory that brings certain appreciation and gratitude towards the life that we lead and the life that we have. That's why with these qualities, all of us who are brahmacharis are reminded of that every single day. And when we put on the clothes, I would say orange is a stained red, a yellow stained red, right? Put some yellow with the red, it becomes orange. So there's yellow in there also. And so every day when we put on our clothes, our yellow clothes, it is a reminder not just what we are supposed to do with our life, which is service, but also how we should do it. And that is with devotion, with bhakti, with joy in everything that we do. Because yellow also, obviously, as we know, is a color of renunciation, just as orange is also. And so it is a color of renunciation in terms of reminder. Joy is important, yes, but where do we get that joy, and what kind of joy are we pursuing? Because one can pursue joy of material life also, but that it never lasts, as we know very well. And so it is a very specific type of joy that we look to experience and implement it now into our life. And that is the kind of joy which we take from looking at him, from seeing him in his yellow garment, beautiful and shining. It is that type of joy that we look to awaken from within our heart. And that's why every time we look at each other, we can see how every brahmachari is always radiating with joy. There is never a gloomy face, or, everybody is always happy. Right? Wow, it's so quiet. No, but at least that should be the joy, the goal, right? And it's good to remind ourselves of that fact. As Guruji said, if we don't have joy in life, everything becomes useless. And so to awaken that joy, the most simple thing we can do, as we know very well, the most easy thing we can do is look at him. This is why he's wearing that yellow clothes. That is why he is so beautiful. Because simply by looking at him, all other attachments will naturally be removed, like Krishna says in chapter 2. And so this is the most easiest practice we can do, on top of ourselves putting on the yellow clothes every single day, is to put them on ourselves and to look at him wearing them as a reminder of that. Jai Gurudev.
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Pranadayite Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha Shilatanananaye Namaste Narasimhaya Pranadayite Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha Shilatanananaye Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Bolo Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Ito Narasimho Parato Narasimho Yato Yato Yami Tato Narasimho Bahi Narasimho Hridaye Narasimho Narsimha Adi Sharanam Prapade Ito Narasimho Parato Narasimho Yato Yato Yami Tato Narasimho Bahi Narasimho Hridaye Narasimho Narsimha Adi Sharanam Prapade Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Oh Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Avakara Kamalavare Naka Bhagavata Shinga Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Avakara Kamalavane Naka Bhagavata Shinga Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Keshavadita Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare O Jaya Narsingadev Narsingadev Bolo Narsingadev Jaya Narsingadev Jaya Narsingadev 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 Jaya Narsingadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Bhakta Swarupa Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Bhakta Swarupa Jaya Prahlad Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Sri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev Sri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev Vishwananda Gurudev 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev O Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe O Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe O Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Yatiraja Ramanuja Yatidraya Karunankaraya Mangala Mangalame
Yatidraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangalame
Prapatti Dharme Karataya Mangala Mangalame
Prapatti Dharme Karataya Mangala Mangalame
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame
Saligrama Pratishtitaya Mangala Mangalame
Saligrama Pratishtitaya Mangala Mangalame
Tridandadari de Godagrajaya Mangala Mangalame
Tridandadari de Godagrajaya Mangala Mangalame
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame
Range Sakhe Kajadataya Mangala Mangalame
Range Sakhe Kajadataya Mangala Mangalame
Mananataya Dharini Dharaya Mangala Mangalame
Mananataya Dharini Dharaya Mangala Mangalame
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangalame
Mangala Mangalame Mangala Mangalame Om Jai Lakshmi Mata Jaya Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Hara Vishnu Vidata Om Jai Lakshmi Mata Tumara Brahmani Tumari Jagamata Omeya Tumari Jagamata Surya Chandra Madhyamata Surya Chandra Madhyamata Narada Rishigata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Durga Rupani Ranjani Sukha Sampati Data Omeya Sukha Sampati Data जो कोई तुमको ध्यावता जो कोई तुमको ध्यावता रिद्धि सिद्धि धन पाता ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता तुम पाताल निवासी तुम ही शुभदाता तुम ही शुभदाता कर्म प्रभाव प्रकाशिनी कर्म प्रभाव प्रकाशिनी भवनिधि कृत्राता ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता जिस घर में तुम्हारा नित्य सबस गुण आता ओ मेरा सबस गुण आता सबस भव हो जाता सबस भव हो जाता मन नहीं घबराता ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता तुम बिना यज्ञ न होते वस्त्र न कोई पाता ओ मेरा वस्त्र न कोई पाता कान पग गए बाबा कान पग गए बाबा सब तुम से आता ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता शुभ पगु नगर सुंदर क्षीरोदधि जाता ओ मेरा क्षीरोदधि जाता ओ मेरा क्षीरोदधि jata
Meya Shirodari Data
Arana chatura dasha tumavina
Chatura Dasa Tumavina
koi nahi pata
Jaya Lakshmi Mata
Mahalakshmi ji ki aarati jo koi jana gata o meya jo koi jana gata Ulananda samatam Ulananda samatam Papa utara jata
Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata
Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Jaya Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Hara Vishnu Vinata
Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata
Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata
Jaya Jaya Lakshmi Mata
Tumako Nishadina Sevata Tumako Nishadina Sevata Hara Vishnu Vidata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Om Jaya Lakshmi Mata Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva 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 Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Govinda Asato Ma Sargamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityu Ma Amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha प्रेम से बोलो श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की श्री भूतभृतेश्वरनाथ नरसिम्हा भगवान की जय बोलो राधा कृष्णा कन्हैया लाल की जय श्रीमद् कृपा जी की जय श्री रामानुजाचार्य की जय प्रेम से बोलो सद्गुरुदेव श्री स्वामी विश्वानंद महाप्रभु की ओम कृष्णाय गोविंदाय गोपी चंद्रवल्लभाय पराय परम पुरुषाय परकर्म मंत्रयंत्र तंत्र औषधास्त्र शस्त्रान् संहरण संग्राम मृत्यु मोक्षा मोक्षा ओम नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय विद्ये ज्वला पुता शिवानि शोभना भट हरस्मय परब्रह्मणे परमज्योतिषे स्वाहा ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे संविक्रमण गोविंद गोपिका निवन स्मरणं गोविंद भक्तवत्सल गोविंद पुंडलीक वरदे एकनाथ रामदेव बोलो पंढरीनाथ महाराज की जय समस्त भक्त मंडली की आलवा इन परमना तिरुवार करे शरण